Hey FishTube, how's it going? So about 2 weeks ago, I sent an email, or maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I sent an email to Sera and just wanted to make sure it was okay. I talked about their products on my channel, and the gentleman I was speaking with actually watched my videos and asked if he could send me a box of products to review. So, you know, usually you do a box and then you review it for some time. Now, a lot of their products I've been using for years and years and years, so I will review it if I know what it is. If I don't know what it is, or if I haven't used it, then we'll decide if it's something I'm gonna, you know, check out long term, because there's no sense in me reviewing something and then, you know, in a week saying, oh, this stuff's great, because that's not an honest review. So but there's a lot of their products I do know, so if I know it, I'm going to review it now. If I don't know it, I'll either decide if I'm going to review it or not. So that's how it's going to go. So pretty cool, pretty big box, pretty amazing. So I believe they are in, yeah, North America, so Pennsylvania. So they're out of Germany. So I love their products as far as discus food, and everybody probably knows that. And then it's Vorsicht Gloss. I believe that's care. I grew up in a German family, so care or caution. I guess in English it would be handle with care glass. So I'm gonna open it up and we're gonna take a look and let's see what they've sent over. Okay. So let's start here. All right, let's take a look. All right, so here we go. And what I'm probably gonna do is just drop this down and then I'll pick stuff out of it. But first of all, packing list. Looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, about 20 products. Not bad, pretty good. And then this looks like that's something internal. So all the breakdowns of what they got. So I'm not going to go through that. I'll just kind of put this box down and start pulling stuff out and putting it on the counter. Okay. So first, and then we'll go to the smallest. So it looks like first is filter wool. So I mean, I use a ton of sponge filters in my room. I don't know the cost of this, so that's something I can look into, or if you want to look into it, it's the Sera filter wool. So one thing about Sera is they're an international company, so based out of Europe, Germany, and you know, so the filter wool, I use a lot of the stuff. I get it at local Hobby Lobby. It's the fabric that goes into pillows, I think, or quilts. I'm not sure. So I would, you know, I'll definitely use it, but it's just going to kind of depend on the cost. I think I pay for about the same for like $9-10. So, but yeah, definitely can use that, and I do use hang-on backs every now and then. Now I use my hang-on backs different. If I have a set tank, then yes, it stays on there, but basically what I do is sometimes I'll just throw that on the front of a tank and clean that tank out and then pull that off. So it doesn't stay on all the time. Now I do have a new Pleco tank that I'm built that has a full-time filter on it. So, and we'll go through that. So the fish room has gone through some changes, and that'll be my next video on what I've done so far and what needs to be done. All right, let's take a look here. Next we have crystal clear filter medium. Now I've never seen this product, don't know much about it. It's let's see, what does it do? It looks like a clarifier. So water clarifier. I'll have to do more research on this. Now I do a ton of water changes, so I have no problem with, you know, I have a ton of tannins in my water, so clear water to me doesn't mean perfect water or you know, black water. So that's something that I would check into, and So it's a fine particle, crystal clear. So check it out. That one I can test. So I'll test those two and see how they are, if they're any different than the other one. Now here's the thing, is this might be better than what I use, and I will test it and see how it goes. So, all right, next, scraper. So it looks like 3 heads on it. There's a plastic, a metal, and a scrub brush. Now this would have to extend to be really worth using all the time, because you don't want to really put your hand in the water. So that's something I'll have to check into to see if it works well. So glass cleaner, sure, pretty cool. I mean, so I appreciate them sending this stuff over, and you know, we'll kind of check it out, and I'll let you know down the road. So that's something that I could probably check pretty quick. Now these will be a more time thing as far as the media. All right, bio balls. So let's see what they call them. So bio filter medium. So definitely can use this stuff. You know, it looks like pretty standard of what the same thing I use as far as the bio. Now here's what I do is I'll throw this in a media bag, and I will like leave it in a tank in a corner somewhere. And if I have a friend or my brother-in-law just started a tank and I gave him a ton of my bio balls to put into his FX6, and it cycled his tank instantly. So these things hold a lot of surface as far as biological. So something else that I will use, and there's really no way to tell the difference as far as what works better. I think, you know, obviously the more surface. So the ones I use are more of a octagon, and this is a circle, but it looks like it's a really porous, so that would be good. Okay, so cool, definitely something I can use. It's always good to have a backup, so you know, whether it's sponge filters or biomedia. So we'll check that out. It's cool. All right. Yes. So this stuff I can review. This is the super peat. This is something I use for my discus. Now you've heard me talk about the peat and what I use the peat for. So the peat I use for the antifungal properties and antibacterial properties. Now it does soften water and it does lower pH, but from what I've seen in years and years and years of doing it, it doesn't drop it too much, so it doesn't get out of control. But for hatching discus eggs and ram eggs, it's really awesome to have that peat in the water. So is it kind of unsightly? Yeah, it's black water. I mean, it can get pretty dark, but love this stuff. Okay, this is something I would highly recommend if you're trying to breed discus. Now this is personal opinion, and it's just something that I do. Some people say you don't need peat in the water. So for me, I just think of the antifungal, you know, the eggs fungusing. And ever since I started throwing peat in my water, I don't have a fungus issue anymore. Now, the problem is a lot of people want to use like the methylene blues and stuff. But the problem with the methylene blues is it's not really safe for fish. And it destroys your beneficial bacteria. So that's what I like about this. It does drop and soften the pH and soften the water, but that's not what I use it for. Just so you understand, I use it for the fungus. Okay, great product, highly recommend it. I love. So one thing about Sera is their packaging on. So this is actually better packaging. I think they've kind of upgraded a little bit. And I like, I love their products, okay, but their packaging could be a little bit more punch into it, I think, as far as off the shelf, because there's a lot of competition on the shelf. But I think they're more of a wholesale to distributors and stuff like that. So, but Super Peat, love it. I love it. That is a product that I can definitely use, and I will use, and I will hatch a lot of discus and rams with that product. Excellent. Okay, let's take a look. What else? Okay. So it looks like a filter. Now, this is kind of a European style filter, and I'll test it out, so I'll look at it. But it looks like it's more for nano and shrimp and stuff like that. So I don't do shrimp. I've tried shrimp, and my problem with shrimp is I don't focus on the tank enough. And I know you're supposed to leave the shrimp tanks alone and everything, but I really don't even look into them and enjoy them. So it's just something I've had shrimp, and wasn't highly successful because I wasn't focused on them, you know. So, so 40 U.S. gallons. Curious. I think I tried in a small, like, I don't really have any nano fish, but maybe my Pleco grow out might work. So I'll give this a shot and see what happens. I think that we could use it for something. So just a different style, but the same theory with the sponge filter and the air. Okay. All right, now we get into the good stuff. All right, let's do this one first. So, as everyone knows, I love their discus food, and I have actually grown discus just on Sera Foods. And here's the thing: if you want to grow them fast, then yes, beef heart is the way to go. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Now I have some issues with beef heart because of it's a cold-blooded animal eating, you know, meat and stuff like that. So I don't know, just too high proteins for me. So it's just something. Now I grow my discus on the Sera food because I don't get the quick growth because I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in getting healthy discus. And I've had discus live up to 15 years on this stuff. So I don't know much about the growth food. So I'll look at the, let's take a look real quick. So the protein, 51, so it's pretty high. And fat, 8. Fiber, 5. So one thing important with discus food is have some fiber in it. Moisture, 6. And ash, 7.9. So, good protein, so I'd imagine that's why. So I will do some testing on this because I've never used the growth food for discus, and it's something that I'll definitely check out. So pretty cool. Yeah, give that a shot. Okay. All right. Oh, here it is. So I buy the staple, but I've used the color food. I think it's a little more expensive, and to me it looks like the same pellet. Now it might have some more krill or something. I'm not sure what's in it as far as color food. Now I would imagine it's for getting out reds. I'm just guessing, but their packaging is a lot of red, so that's something I would do more research on. But I've used the color food before, and I like the staple because I just buy it in huge amounts, and I have that in my fridge all the time when I need it. So I think we'll give this a shot, the color food. I'll do a little more research on it and see as far as colors, if it's all colors or certain colors, so that's something we'll look into. So pretty cool. Yeah. So I know that Sera's gone more to the natural. Now I'm curious because I see the nature part of it, and on a lot of my foods I don't have the nature. So I think that's kind of the way they're going. So the thing with foods is it's important that it feeds a certain way. You're not getting a lot of waste. You kind of think of it like your dog. If you feed your dog a low quality food, you get a ton of crap in the yard. It's the same with discus. If you feed them a low quality food, your tank gets polluted real fast. So by feeding high qualities, you actually keep your water quality a little better. Now, I'm gonna do a video on keeping discus, breeding discus, and growing discus. That all three very different. Okay, you need to approach each one different. So I'm going to do a video on that. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. So another growth food. That's cool. So I will definitely try this out and see how it works. I think we can, make that work. And it looks like the same pellet, but it could be just a picture, because it looks like that's the same discus, a little different. So, yep, we'll check that out. Growth food for discus. I'm really curious about the nature part. Okay, so I will test it out and see if there's any difference on how it feeds. All right, let's take a look. Treat mix. The Flake. I don't know anything about this one. Let's see. Well, first ingredient, spirulina. So anytime you're getting spirulina as your first ingredient, and then sea algae. So that's going to give you a lot of vitamins in your food. So I feed a ton of spirulina, and all my discus get spirulina. So that's something that is pretty good. Now the protein does drop a little bit, so I think it's about 45. So I'm guessing this is just like a trace elements. Okay, so flake food. It is a flake food. Okay. Alright. So, interesting. I'll try that one out. That one will probably be good for like the rams and stuff, but yeah, cool. Alright, let's take a look at another one. O-nips. So O-nips are something I've never tried in my life. Just because I've mostly had bigger fish, so I think this is more of a smaller fish treat. I know I've watched some videos, I think with Corey or something, and he says he doesn't like it. Now I'm just going to test it out as far as the nature part, the natural, I guess. So I will check it out and see how it feeds. Because what I don't want is a bunch of waste in my tanks. I want the food to go in, I want it to hit the bottom, and I want those fish to eat it. Okay, I don't want it sitting around. If the fish aren't going to eat it, it does no good as far as quality. Okay, so I'm actually pretty excited to try this product. So I will give it a shot and let you know how that one goes. That's the O-nips treat tablets. All right, let's see what else we got. Insect food. Interesting. So many of you know I use a lot of insect food. I think it's very clean food. I don't know what's in this. Let's see. Insect meal. And protein is, wow, 52%. So good. So that's something that I'll try. Now these don't have discus on the front. Now that doesn't mean that discus can't eat them. So, you know, at certain sizes or whatever. So it has like a rasbora and an angelfish. So I have an angelfish in my room. So interesting. I'll try insect food. Pretty cool. See, I didn't even know they had this product. So that's pretty interesting. It's not something that you find in your local fish store a lot. That's the thing, is it's kind of, you got to go online to get their stuff, or a lot of the big box places have Sera, which I won't shop at, and that's just a personal preference. I like to support local small businesses because I'm a local small business. So that's something that I'll have to check out. Insect. Interesting. Pretty cool. Alright. Oh, I love. Okay. Fry food. So this is the micron. If you are breeding anything that's tiny. So I have just bred my Bozeman again. And I have about 75 to 80 of those Bozeman. And the first food I fed them to get them eating was the Sera micron. This stuff is freaking pure magic. I love this product because the smallest fish. So here's the thing with the Sera micron. If you're going to feed tiny fish, so I don't grow my Bozeman in fry trays. I grow them in 20 gallons. So I want to have about 100 of those in a 20 gallon. And then I dust this on top. I take a little bit of a like a paintbrush, small paintbrush, dip it in there and just click the top. Now sometimes I'll do it 2 or 3 times, but one of the things I do is I put a pleco in the bottom, so because it's not. So people always say, why would you put a pleco in a grow out tank? Because it's going to create so much waste. The mulm is not an issue. It's the uneaten food that's the issue. So by taking a balanced tank, and then what I do is I put the pleco at the bottom, and then I put plants floating at the top, usually Val, and that's eating that nitrates up, all the nitrates up. So my job is to go in there once or twice a week and clean that mulm out. Okay, but I've let it build up for a while, so it's not something that I worry about. And I grow a lot of rainbow fish this way. So it's just something a little different than, you know, the normal way to grow, because people want to keep everything so pristine. And mulm doesn't equal bad water. It's just basically you're feeding that biological filter. It's the nitrates that rise, and as long as you have plants in there, those nitrates are gonna be taken care of. So I love this. And then what I would do is I also feed vinegar eels. Now once I get the fry onto baby brine shrimp, no more vinegar eels. I don't feed them anymore now. And the same with cories, but cories I use microworms because they sink. So, but I keep feeding the micron. It's something that I feed probably to rainbow fish for the first 3 months. It's amazing, and they grow pretty quick on it. So, love this. I love the Sera micron. Okay, and I use it religiously. I love this stuff. So awesome product. All right, let's see what I got. Here is, let's see. Oh, Fishtamin. I'm guessing vitamin complementary feed. So I don't know anything about this product. So one thing I used to do is feed a lot of Vitachem. I don't feed it anymore. I just grind up vitamin C tablets, and that's how I get vitamin C into it, because vitamin C I think is the one for the immune system. I'm curious to see how this feeds, if it's a supplement, so I don't know anything about this product. So that's something that I will have to check into. Now, if there's anything that you guys want to know and I forget about, and you want me to talk about or to revisit, just leave a comment in the comment section, and I will get back to it, or I'll get back to you personally. Now, if I get a ton of comments, then I will go a little bit deeper into this stuff. So I'm curious about this. I don't know how it feeds. I have no idea. I've never seen the product before. So this is something that I'll try. And again, it's going to depend on cost, because that's one thing why I don't do Vitachem anymore, was 2 reasons. The cost, and it had to be refrigerated. So with my dry vitamin C tablets that I put in a coffee grinder, I can just put that in anytime. So, and there's other supplements I have too that are dry powder. But I'll definitely check this out. So vitamin. All right, let's see what we got. Nitrite minus. So this is a product that I probably won't be able to test because I have no ammonia or nitrates in my fish room. I'm pretty solid on my water changes. I just did some today. I did almost every tank in my room just because I didn't get to it during the week. Now, I did get to my discus tanks, because those get twice a week no matter what, at a certain size. Now, when they're small, and that's why I'm going to make that video, because I want to explain the difference between having keeping discus. Water changes are not as necessary or as much as growing discus. Growing discus, you gotta really do the water changes because it's a bacteria issue and feeding. So basically, as they're growing, I'm feeding so heavy that I want the I want that water quality up. So, if you don't keep the water quality up and you're feeding heavy, you're going to get a bacteria issue, and that usually results in major losses. But breeding fish, breeding discus, I don't change the water a lot. You'd be surprised how little I change. Because what I'm looking for more in the breeding part of it is stability. I don't want it changing. Now I'll do cold water and stuff like that. I will do that to get them to breed. But really, I think it's more about the food and feeding good quality food that gets them to breed. Because once they get that gut full of good food and all that good stuff in their body, the females start producing eggs. So this is something that I probably won't be able to I mean, I can't think of a way. I'm sure it removes ammonia or something too. So, you know, and what's nice about this stuff is I didn't know a lot of these products existed because it's just not something that's carried in my local store. And, you know, that might change one day, that might not change. But, you know, if I need a certain product, like my discus food, I have to buy online because I just cannot buy it anywhere locally. There's just no one that has it. So that's something that I have to do online. So this is pretty cool, I guess, for if you're starting a tank or if you're having issues in your tank. But you guys seen how I treat my water, and for me, a good water change basically takes care of any nitrites or ammonia, even if it's creeping up a little. But really, it's about your biological filter. If they're healthy, you're not going to have these issues. But interesting. So, you know, it's a good product, I guess, to have for starting out. So, but yeah, there's really no way I can test a nitrite minus. That's what it's called, Sera nitrite minus. But I think they've upgraded their packaging a little bit. I mean, I still see the same, this brown stuff here. This looks a little different, so this might be a new product or something. So, all right, let's take a look at what else we got. So they sent me a bunch of these samples. So what do we got? Probiotic, 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 Vipan, probiotic, Vipan. Let's do the Vipan first. So I don't know much about this. It looks like it's for smaller fish, maybe. Let's see. I don't see any breakdowns. Yeah, I don't see any breakdowns as far as proteins and fats and everything. So it looks like a staple food. So basically an everyday feeding kind of thing. So I'll try this because curious. One thing about my fish room is you might know that I don't feed anything that's just normal food as far as, you know, I would never touch like anything from Wardley or anything like that. But the Sera usually is the higher quality. So I'm just curious how this stuff, one, is how it's going to feed, two, how much it costs, and three, the health of the fish. Now the health of the fish I can't see right away because I would have to take a tank, feed this food exclusively, and you'd probably have to do it for 6 months to really see what's going on as far as the fish. So, you know, the probiotic, you know, that's gut health. So it's a growth food though, so that's interesting. I'll have to do some online research on to see the protein content and everything because it's not on these samples. So that's pretty cool. We'll definitely check those out. I'm curious. So this is what's cool is, you know, I was so focused on the Sera food because that's just what worked for me for years, and I grow amazing discus on it. Like I said, I don't grow them fast, but I grow them solid, and I grow them over time. So, and the thing that I found is if you grow them a little bit slower, they just keep growing, and they just keep getting thicker and thicker and thicker. Now, if I was doing a world championship or I wanted to enter into contests, then yes, I would have to feed a different kind of fish. But for me, it's about breeding quality fish, and I want to know what that fish is really like. So, you know, the shape and everything like that. So I'm just really blown away by their discus food. I really am. I have nothing but good things to say about it, and I don't feed it just to my discus. It goes into my L numbers. It goes into my plecos, all my ancestris. I feed it to my rams. I feed it, I mean, anything that'll take that size pellet will get that discus food. Alright, and let's see what else we have here. So, catalog. Cool, so I can kind of go through all their products. I mean, I don't know where you would pick something like this up, so that's pretty cool. It has looks like all their products. So for me, and it looks like they have, I'm curious here. Yeah, koi's, Test kits. Oh. So, marine food, salt water. Interesting. Alright. CO2, biological, test kits, cichlid food, treats, catfish, veggie. Okay. So that's cool. So I could do a ton of research on this. Awesome. And then they sent me a calendar. So they sent me 2 calendars actually. So it looks like the calendar has a huge pleco, shrimp, saltwater, koi pond, I'm guessing killifish, tortoise, it's like a Malawi cichlid, turtle, aquatic, pencilfish, I'm guessing, stirby, one of my favorites, I love the stirby, and it looks like a planted tank, and then wild bettis. So that'll go up in my room, and you'll see that in my videos every now and then. So pretty cool. Alright, so that's it. So I was able to review, you know, on the discus food. Of course, I use that, the Micron. I love that. I'm going to try these other products out, and like I said, if you need to know what's going on, just let me know as far as any questions, and we'll see, you know, how it goes in the future. Again, thanks everyone for watching, and I hope everyone's having a great week, and I really appreciate everybody subscribing to my channel. Thanks a lot.